Hello and welcome to a new Sunday webinar. Today we have an amazing guest with us who will be joining us shortly. But let me first introduce her. Before I take her name, she's passionate about helping and shifting people through healing therapies. People go through for all kinds of fears, self-doubt, pain, shame, and the feeling of not being good enough. Of course, we all feel like that at some point or other in our lives, unable to move forward in their personal life and their professional lives, feeling as if they're dragging themselves through depression, of course, which leads to what? Disease, which affects their physical and their emotional well being. This person is trained in multiple modalities under various international trainers. The therapies that she's worked on include the journey, emotional freedom technique, TA, NLP, MasterCard, Matrix, ancestral healing, mudras, affirmations, Shaktipat, psychodrama, oracle cards, color therapy, runes, and so much more. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my very dear guest today, Fatima. How are you, Fatima?
Thank you. Thank you for introducing me today and taking me on the show.
Most welcome. So, we have plenty and plenty of people who are interested in psychological and, as we call the meta science universe, where we go beyond what science talks about. I had a very interesting lesson I learned today. This was Osho's speech, where he said, science stops where Paramatma begins, because science is a journey to get to Paramatma, but you can never get there because it's ever expanding. So
Right.
the day one of a very popular scientist in the Western world, I don't remember his name, he took his name, said that the day we are able to get Paramatma,
Mhm.
the the universal soul within a test tube, it's not a universal soul of Paramatma anymore. So know that you can never get there. And with the scientific techniques, we are able to measure with what you do with your healing techniques, we go beyond. So I will have you, and my first question, I'm sure every first question is, how and why did you get here?
Okay. It's very interesting that sometimes people feel that you have to feel the pain to go, but somewhere I was just led into it. You know, maybe this was my life purpose or whichever way it was. But of course, I also went through my share of pains in my life, and
Hmm.
the interesting part is that I was going through some, and we lived in a joint family, and we were going through some, ups and downs. And I was talking to
Hmm.
a friend of mine, and she directed me to a coffee reader those days. This I'm talking about maybe 17, 18 years back, or maybe more than that. And she said a lot of things that I didn't understand a single word of it because it all seemed so gaga. What is she talking about? Because I don't believe in any of this. And I came back home and I was like sitting and I think, what does this lady speak about? That you will meet somebody from far away, will come and change your this and that. It didn't make any sense to me. Anyway, so and she spoke about black magic, which I didn't even understand what black magic meant those days. And then that became actually my starting point of, meeting all kinds of healers and mediums and psychic readers. And I didn't know that I was being led to, that I was learning from them. In fact, I met, and through these, there were two people who were very important in my life those days. Was this lady called she was called Manize. She started the school called the School of Ancient Wisdom. It's basically a place where a lot of spiritual talks and all these things were happening. So I met her, and there was another person whom I met was another teacher who became my mentor and who was teaching me a lot of stuff. But I thought he was just doing for me, but I didn't know that I was being taught by the universe in such a way. So anyway, in this way, I was one of my friend invited me for a book reading, and I just went there and I met Brandon, who started the journey. And she wrote in my book also, and I spoke to her, in fact, the other day on online, and I said, you wrote on in my book, come home to yourself, and I didn't even know what she meant. But there was a seminar she was just starting, so I went for the seminar. Those days, to pay 20,000 was a lot of money. So I went, and that's where I discovered the frozen emotions that were within my body. And I was wowed by it because the feeling that the release that happened, I mean, when we do the process, the release that happens, you can't explain this. It's unexplainable. It's only when you feel it, you know it. And so I discovered basically my mother was divorced when I was 1.5 or 2 years old, and I was sent to my father's house. So you see how one word froze me. And my father would have told my aunt that, why did you have to bring her here? And all the processes that I would do, that particular thing would come up. But the emotions, anger, fear, sadness, not love, not accepted, rejected, I didn't even know they existed all these years of my life. You see, and they surface like, and the moment the release happened, there was a release happening within my body. So this is how, and then of course, my learning journey was never the end. And I just kept on learning without knowing that I was going to do something. In fact, those days in the journey seminars, when I would go to assist, there would be a lady there and she would say, you're going to become a journey practitioner. And I say, huh? I didn't even know I was going to do anything beyond that. I would just do, huh? And today, here I am.
This is awesome. I think a lot of people's journey, the people I've interviewed before, my own journey has been like that. It's just, you're just in that space. You're not looking for it. It just shows up for you. And then it has some kind of magnetic power, like Pied Piper, and keeps on pulling you in, and you just keep on following, and you just
right.
go on and on. But
Mhm.
you've done so many different therapies. So tell us, which is your favorite first and why?
Okay. So journey, of course, is my favorite one because it takes you deep within yourself. It
Okay.
takes you at the source level.
Hmm.
And when the release happens, it's uh, that as I said, it's not easy to explain. Of course, journey and
Hmm.
EE are one of my two. Um, uh, and sometimes I combine them. Sometimes I use them separately. And see, the main thing is the result. Okay, it's not what the work you do. It's
Right.
how the other person has felt. Where I can speak of cancer patient. I can
Hmm.
speak of a client who was totally in bed, who was only on the walker
Hmm.
from from his chair to the dining table, and that's it. He had come from London from past 6 months. He had not stepped out of his house. He had no watching TV, no television, no newspaper, books, nothing. And when his wife called me, he was not willing to work. And he said, you know what? You look like a nice cartoon. So maybe I'll just speak to you, but I know they've got you, and I don't want to get into that.
Right.
Every time I would go to him, he opened up more and more, so much. I mean, in fact, the second or third session, he started watching TV, the books started coming, and by the fourth session, he was, going out for lunch, and the last of
Awesome.
out of his walk, the walk.
Wow, this is amazing. Wow, awesome work. I'm sure people listening will be like, I hope you guys have heard it. If you didn't, rewind this, go back and listen to what she just did. It was a miracle. So I actually never experienced the modality called the journey. So I would love to hear a little bit more about it if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So basically, we work at the emotional level. So
Hmm.
what we understand that everything is now, in fact, the science is taking it as we spoke about science that 85% of the disease are emotion related. The science is
Right.
explaining it up, right?
Mm.
So so what we do is we keep asking you the question. So how are you feeling?
Mm.
So and you sometimes I have clients who say I don't feel anything. They'll sit like this and say, you know what? I'm not feeling anything. Okay, so not to feel anything. Also, how does it feel? Because so that's what you're doing by not feeling. You see, you're shoving your emotions down.
Mm.
And every emotion will have an emotional holding point in your body.
Right.
Where do you feel it in your body?
Right.
So the next question would be, where do you feel it in your body? And instead of pushing away the emotion, we ask you to feel it totally and completely. If you're
Mm.
feeling fear, welcome all the fear that you ever felt in your life. Really welcome it. Make it even bigger, even bigger, even bigger, even bigger. Go right into the core of it and they'll come up with another emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It is anger. Welcome it. Lifetime of anger. This is the way I take you through the process
Okay.
until you come to a space of nothingness.
Mm.
And so sometimes people have nothingness, blankness, emptiness, or just falling. So now what's coming into it now?
Mm-hmm.
So automatically you would have, peace, light, joy, love, calmness, happiness. These are definitely, that's what we are looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And what we call wash through the layer, then we ask, so now what does it have to say to the fear? They said, where's the fear? This is how we get into the process. But of course, somebody has done this to you, right?
Right.
Somebody or something has created this.
Mm.
So automatically you go back in time.
Mm.
And you have what we call the person who's sitting here, we call him you, the present day you,
Mm.
the younger you who has gone through this. And we generally call a mentor.
Okay.
So mentor means a saint, a sage, or an enlightened person.
Mm.
Try not to call your parents because you have a problem with sometimes your parents.
Right.
Uh, and sometimes we have these tinted glasses and we say, you know what, our parents are the perfect parents. They
Mm.
are, they may be. Uh, so I had a guy, who said, I have the perfect parents. I have no problems with my family. He was
Mm.
having some issue with his relationship. No problem at all. Fine. Third session, the problem which came was the mother. And for him, his mother was like this. He used to like, for everyone, it is that.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
But the problem is always that my mother never listened to me.
Uh-huh.
You see, I'm always trying to please her, but she is not listening to me.
Mm.
Right now, I wanted to listen to me that I don't want to get married to this girl, but she's not listening. And she has never listened to me throughout my life.
Interesting. Absolutely. So it's just
See,
amazing when you're talking. Sorry, please go on. Sorry, I
yeah.
interrupted you.
No, no, so I was just talking about the process first. So I also went offline. So we call a mentor or some people who don't believe in
Mm.
any of them, we call the
Mm.
universe or whoever you think
Mm.
is your highest ideal. And also we create a campfire of unconditional love and acceptance. To this campfire, we bring the person who's responsible for it.
Mm.
Who's created this in your life.
Mm.
And we speak to the person, this person speaks to us through us. It's an automatic process. And yeah, you are not hypnotized like hypnotism, which we talk about.
Mm.
You're conscious, but you're still in that, you're still accessing what I would say your subconscious uh, part of your brain, where automatically the memories would come to you. And sometimes I've had the silliest memory come to people,
Mm.
and they never thought this memory was related to anything else. So, no, I mean, so I just give you an example of a girl who was there. She, so we, she was being a Muslim, Shia. So we go to a place in Najaf, which
Mm.
is So she was in that place, a holy place, and an Arab man touched her inappropriately. She was only a 14 or 15 years old. And she was shocked. She was shocked. She thought, why am I not protected in this place?
Mm.
She shut down.
Mm.
She shut down and she never spoke up for herself after that. She couldn't stand up in her power. And when I processed her, she was like shocked to connect all the way back there when she was 14 or 15 years old.
Mm.
And she says, oh, that is the time after that I started to put on weight because she wanted to shut herself and not show who she is or what she is.
Right. Wow, that's very powerful. It's amazing how many times during a therapy, people think they've actually gotten over a certain situation, but that situation keeps on coming back, and they're like, "But how is this connected?" And tell me if the same thing has happened with you, where once that one situation opens up,
Mm-hmm.
the 10 problems they come with, most of them get resolved because that one situation is actually holding on to everything.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on to the second thing you talked about, which was
Okay, so let me just
EFT.
finish the whole process.
Yes,
Okay.
please go ahead. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Sorry. Go
So
ahead.
we speak
It
to
was,
the
I was like, eh, as you were talking, I was, getting, I would say it, a wireless or an online catharsis. And I'm like, okay, this is done. Now I'm free.
no.
Please go on. Please go on.
So we speak to the person, this person speaks to us through us. It's as I said, it's an automatic process. Of course, there are many other variations and everything in it. But the basic, what I'm talking about is the basic one. And then we go to forgiveness, which is a very, very important part of the whole, everything in life, the forgiveness.
Right.
And then we go to a future regression. So how are you a day from now to 5 years down the line? So generally, I catch people when they come to 6 months from now, 70% of your cells have replicated and healed. So how are you feeling about yourself, about life? That is where the catch is. If the person has not shifted or the person has not gone back where she needed to go, you'll realize that, she'll find her hands, frozen or legs frozen. Oh, I've got a headache. And I know that they haven't finished what they were supposed to do. So this is the whole, one of the processes of the journey.
Awesome. This is, I can, and just for everybody's knowledge, this is, though she's spoken it about in about 10, 15 minutes, but it's a long process. You actually are going through your journey. And as I've experienced something similar in different therapies. It's just that it's very deep and it pulls you to places which one you never thought existed because you've forgotten them, or you were resisting to going to them because of this very reason you said that they were the ones that cause pain, and who wants to go to a place where there's pain? But of course, if you don't go there, then you can't release, and you're still facing pain every single day. So Fatima ji, let's go to with your permission, let's go to EFT and let's little bit know about it, because you said that's the second most.
Yeah. So EFT basically is we are tapping on the meridians of the body. EFT is full form is emotional freedom technique. We are tapping on the meridians of the body. Meridians are basically, people who don't understand them, they are like the veins we have in our body. These are the energy lines which run through our body. And so people who are doing acupuncture, they are very aware of it. And those basically are tapping only onto those points. So whatever is happening, we accept what is happening in the here and now, saying it, and then, confirming with whatever needs to be released also. Okay. So what would you like me to do? Show me you?
Absolutely, please. I was going to say, can you please show us a demo? One of the things you do, because for our audience also, and If they're following and listening, can they also follow exactly, just this technique as they listen to you, if that's okay with you?
Yeah. I'm perfectly fine. But
Uh,
yeah. So what we generally do is start here, which is called the. Let me just show you the points first, which is called
okay.
the target.
Okay.
We start with the statements here, saying what
Okay.
you say. Like if I were to give an example as, okay, I'm feeling very stressed today.
Hmm.
I am really stressed um, for whatever reason that you are stressed. I'm really stressed. And we generally ask the SUD levels, that unit of on 1 on 10, where is your stress level?
Hmm.
So people would say 10 on 10 or 8 on 10. And so I'm really stressed, very stressed. And then we tap on the top of our head. This is another point. The another point is the beginning of the eyebrow,
Okay. Yeah.
ending of the eyebrow,
Okay.
under the eye, under the nose, on the chin, 1 inch below the collarbone,
Okay.
under the arm,
Hmm.
and the fingertips. Okay. And then
Okay.
come back here. This is the whole round of tapping which we would do with just one word from you.
Hmm.
If you're going through a pain or stress or whatever you're going through.
Hmm.
So we do a whole round of tapping. Uh, I if you would like to do with me, I would just because
Absolutely. So I just recovered from COVID and I'm going through multiple. It's like I don't feel myself yet.
uh,
The same energy, and people can see it. No, once they are interacting with me, like,
mm,
no, you're not that same energy level yet. And I know because I can feel it myself that I am not able to push myself that hard,
mm,
not able to generate, not push out because that was just coming. And now I have to push myself to really get to a certain energy level. So, like
mm,
when I'm talking right now, also, it's an effort. It's
mm.
not like coming with ease.
I I get that.
Yeah.
I know the
So, yeah,
COVID
I'm ready.
has been a real for everyone. And
So, is it right?
yeah, we start from here and you say, you know what, my energy level has been going down. If I were to ask you the scale of 1 on 10, where would it be?
6.
6. My energy level is 6 on 10, and usually it used to be 10 on 10
Yes.
earlier. I used to feel them 10 on 10.
Yes.
Just because of this COVID, I feel so energyless now. I feel so energyless. Really feel the energy not moving through my body now. I feel I'm not able to move and do the work as I used to do. I'm not able to do, it's not a feeling, right? It's, and how does it make you feel when you feel so energyless? If I,
So two things. One, it makes me feel incomplete because
mm,
it's not me completely the way I know myself.
mm,
And secondly, it makes me feel, I guess, inadequate would be incomplete as well. If that's not two feelings, it makes me feel helpless because I can't do anything about it.
okay. So I feel helpless. I feel so helpless. I feel so helpless. So helpless. Really helpless and energyless that I can't do anything about it. So helpless and energyless that I can't do anything for my body, for my mind, and my soul. And even though I feel this, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I deeply and completely
Completely
love,
and completely love and accept myself.
completely love and accept myself. I feel so energyless, so energyless. I feel so energyless. And you said something else also. Sorry, I just missed that also. Uh, Beside helpless, you said something else also.
Incomplete.
Incomplete. I feel so helpless and incomplete.
Complete.
And where do you feel this helplessness in your body?
Where? Right here. In my
Right here,
chest.
in your chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel this helplessness just right in my chest.
I feel a selflessness right in my chest.
This helplessness in my chest.
This helplessness in my chest.
This energyless does not let me move forward easily and effortlessly.
This energy does not let me move effortlessly and move forward effortlessly.
And I feel so helpless.
I feel so helpless.
Feel so helpless.
Feel so helpless.
I was so energetic before, right?
I was so energetic before.
And I feel so helpless now.
And I feel so helpless now.
This COVID has taken my energy.
So COVID has taken my energy.
The cells in my body
Cells in my body
are actually been fighting a long time.
been fighting a long time.
The cells in my body have been really fighting it out.
Cells in my body have been really fighting it out.
And they become really tired now.
And they become really tired now.
So tired
So tired
that they needed to rest.
that they needed to rest.
And that's what they did for a few days.
And that's what they did for a few days.
And now I'm back
And now I'm back
at my full energy,
at my full energy.
even though I don't feel it now.
Even though I don't feel it now.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Um, if I were to just ask you, I'll keep checking your ratio. It was 8 on 10 or
6 on 10 it was.
on 10. Okay. How is it now?
Actually 8 on 10 now.
6 being the
The energy level was 10 on 10 was the one before I got COVID. And 6 and 10 is how I feel right now, or felt before this. Right now, I'm feeling 8 on 10.
8 on 10 means good. It has
Yes.
increased. Okay.
Yes.
The energy level has increased. Okay, great. Thank you. So what I meant was, when we we reduce the scale to 1.
Yeah.
When we feel good, we reduce the scale to 1. Sorry, it's my mistake. I didn't explain it earlier because I was also understanding the time limit that we have. So, okay, great. So I'm now feeling 8 on 10. So I am looking at now 8 to be the higher.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling 8 on 10 and it makes me feel good.
Hmm.
And it really makes me feel good. I'm feeling 8 on 10.
Mhm.
And how is your helplessness now? If I were to look at helplessness, which is in
It's
your...
gone down considerably.
Okay. My helplessness
My helplessness
is gone down now.
has gone down now.
My helplessness, which was in my chest,
My helplessness, which was in my chest.
do you still feel it in your chest?
Actually, while we were doing it, I felt a release from the chest. So it's much, much more. It was heavier then, heavy then. Now it's much, much lighter. I feel a little bit still, but not as much as I when we started.
Okay, perfect. My helplessness is much lighter now.
My helplessness is much lighter now.
It feels like it's lighter. It's been released from my chest.
Feels like it's been released from my chest.
My helplessness has been released.
My helplessness has been released.
And it feels much lighter.
And it feels much lighter.
My energy level
My energy level
is much better.
is much better.
And my helplessness is also much better.
And my helplessness is also much better.
I am feeling lighter.
I'm feeling lighter.
I am feeling lighter.
I am feeling lighter.
I am feeling lighter.
I am feeling lighter.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love and accept myself.
love and accept myself.
So if I were to ask you, actually we go deeper by, going into your body, but I know that since shifts were happening, I didn't take you there.
Uh,
Um, so how
but
does
I'm
it...
feeling much, much lighter. My whole cells right now are like vibrating with nice very energetic vibration I'm feeling. And
Uh,
like I said, the helplessness which was sitting in the chest as you were doing the tapping, it just came out. And I felt a big release that happened. So
good.
it was an amazing experience. I went on saying it and I was feeling I'm in this AC room and feeling hot, and then suddenly I'm feeling cold because I think it's like kuch kapde utar gaye. It's like feeling lighter now.
Yeah.
So the AC is also feeling much more effective.
Yeah. So the people who are watching, so still, we still have things to complete. Uh,
Mm,
so eyes closed, eyes open. The part of it. Eyes to the left, eyes to the right,
mm.
clockwise, anti-clockwise, and if you can hum a tune. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then again hum a tune. Now tell me how you're feeling in your body.
Very light, very very light.
Okay. Now, if you look at the scale of it was still on the higher range, 8 on 10. So what would it
Yes.
be?
Oh, I'm still feeling since a lot of release going out. I think it's now reaching 9. As
Okay.
I feel it, I'm like ready to do 20 things at the moment. The energy levels are so high.
Okay.
It's just so it's going there. So thank you so much. It's just feeling very, very good. And so for everybody who's watching, if you followed it, I'm sure you experienced the same thing I did. And it is just magical. It's not explainable. It's actually experiencing and magical. So Fatima ji, I would like you to tell us a little bit more about the range of clients you deal with. So who all come to you? People who can come to you. Is there an age range, or is it anywhere from children to old age? So what's the clientele you have, or you are open to getting?
So I've had all kinds of clientele from 0 to 70 years old. I've had
Mm,
people with Parkinson. I've had people with cancer. I
mm,
had a person with cirrhosis who's, in fact, the second day his wife
mm,
and the doctor who was treating him for past 20 years says, "Oh, we changed the medicine and look at the effect." But the wife knew the actual reason.
uh,
There was nothing over there on his body. Of course, now it keeps coming back, but depending on the emotion that he's going through.
mm,
But it's not as severe as it used to be. And
okay.
you need medication for, remember, 20 years, not 2 years or
Mm,
50 years.
mm,
So that effect it had on this person. Then I've
mm,
had people with depression. I've had people with, people who can't move forward in life.
mm,
With anger issues, people with, knowing that their childhood has been traumatic and they've been wanting to release. So I've had those kind of people as well.
mm.
So, I mean, I can't think of people who, from all levels of all walks of life, you know, I've had them.
So I guess I'm just gonna. You can keep saying yes as I talk about the clients. At the when we are kids, the parents have a problem. My child doesn't do this. My child doesn't do that. I'm assuming you've had parents like that. Then as children grow up,
Mm,
not focused on studies. I can't focus. That
mm,
I'm sure that's come up. And then when you grow up, I can't find a job. If I get a job, I have this trouble, that trouble. Those
mm,
come up. Then of course, and then I'm talking from a very emotional challenges perspective. Then of course the marriage comes up. Then challenges with parents, with kids, with a spouse, and then, of course, in old age, the different kind of emotional depression thing comes up. And then the physical thing which you've talked about. You've talked about any and every kind of disease. So that's just amazing. And for all our viewers, I am going to share Fatima Ji's contact information uh, right at the end. So please take a screenshot of the final thing so that all of you will get access to it. And of course, you can reach out to me. I can share that information also with you all. Any last words before we close this Sunday webinar?
So I think how we take everything that happens in our life. From the time that we are children. So from 0 to 7 years, we take in everything that is there. But how we react to it, how we release it, it's very important. And most of the time, people say we don't need counseling, we don't need therapy, but you don't need it. You don't need it until you have come to a place where there are blockages.
Right.
And sometimes people don't realize that blockages can be in relationship, moving forward in life, or jobs, or anything. But you don't realize where the blockage is coming from your childhood. The words that you heard, the words that you felt, the things that you saw, all does affect us.
Right.
So
Awesome.
Mental, that's what I basically, how we generally consider.
Right. Absolutely. And like I can think of two things here. One is that prevention is better than cure. So go for therapy before you need it. So you don't ever need to go to a point of that catharsis. You are actually free flowing and you don't have blockages. And there is a beautiful saying I learned in my childhood. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे सुख में करे ना कोई सुख में सुमिरन जो करे दुख काहे को होए. So if you go to a therapist when you're in a happy space, you will not get into a sad space. You'll be able to cope up with it. So thank you so much. And I end every Sunday webinar. So we will do 3 chants of Om to connect our body, mind, and soul. So whoever wants to join me can join me.
Can I show you one more?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Body, mind, and soul. When you said
Body,
connect
mind,
body, mind, and soul, yeah, just hold it and just sit with it, and you'll see how you're connecting your body, mind, and soul.
All right. So I'm going to chant my Om doing just that now.
Yeah.
So everybody who's watching, take a deep breath. Om. Wow, this was an amazing experience. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and giving us your time on Sunday. Be back with more soon. Thank you, Fatima ji.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this program. Thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you.
My